How's everybody doing? Well, it's the beginning of May, and we are getting ever so closer to the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. So, with that in mind, I thought that today I would go over games that I am most looking forward to on the new system, and hopefully these games that I'm going over will also be games that you folks out there will be looking forward to as well, assuming you get a Switch 2. Now, of course, not everybody's going to be able to get one right at launch for various reasons, whether money or other reasons, and that's perfectly fine. But nonetheless, let's go over a few titles that I'm looking forward to for the system. Although keep in mind also that not all of these are going to be available directly on day one. So let's get the obvious out of the way, which is Mario Kart World, which is not only the first Mario Kart game that we've gotten in 11 years, but also the big launch game for the Nintendo Switch 2. And this is a big deal because Mario Kart has never been a launch title for the system before, and for any Nintendo system before. Now, right now, Nintendo's best ever selling Mario Kart in that franchise is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is pretty impressive for being a port of a Wii U title. So, I don't know how Mario Kart World can possibly top that, but I can guarantee that they'll definitely find a way. I mean, if Mario Kart 8 Deluxe manages to sell that many copies, sell so many copies, I think it's like I think it's like 70 million now or something like that. I would imagine Mario Kart World is probably going to top that. Especially if Nintendo manages to sell over 100 million Switch 2 units over the course of that console's lifetime. Right. And if, say, you have 80 million uh, copies of Mario Kart World that get sold during that time, that means that you would have about 80% of Nintendo Switch 2 owners having a copy of Mario Kart World, which would be really nice. Now, obviously, not everybody that is going to get the Switch 2 is going to get that game, but I know I am. In fact, that is being included with the specific Switch 2 that I have pre-ordered, and I'm looking forward to playing that on launch day. So, yeah, that game is definitely going to be a lot of fun. Now, another game that's going to be a lot of fun on the Switch 2 that I'm also looking forward to is Donkey Kong Bonanza, the first 3D Donkey Kong game in quite some time. I mean, if I have to wait for a brand new Mario Kart was something, the wait for in between 3D Donkey Kong titles is even longer. Because this is the first 3D DK game that we've had since the Nintendo 64 era. To put it in perspective, DK64 released in 1999, and this new DK game is coming out in the summer of this year. So that is a gap of 26 years. 26 years, people. And it's also the first Donkey Kong game overall since Tropical Freeze in 2014, which of course is part of the Donkey Kong Country series. So, and based on the previews and gameplay footage that I've seen of this looks like it is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing this for all of you here on the channel. How many copies is it going to sell? Well, that I don't know, but it's going to sell a lot. So, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a lot of fun, and with all the different stuff that you can do in that, there's definitely gonna be a lot of replayability. So yeah, that is certainly going to be another fun game. So I need to check out on the Switch 2 whenever that Switch 2 and of course the specific date for that is July 17th. So about 2.5 months that we have to wait until that game comes out. But the time will go by really quick. Trust me. Then we've got another Switch 2 title that I'm looking forward to checking out. This one does not have a specific date yet, other than the fact that it's supposed to come out this year, and that is Kirby Air Riders. And now this, of course, is the sequel to Kirby Air Ride, which, if you remember, first released on the Nintendo GameCube back in the early 2000s. So it's been quite a while since we've had a brand new entry in this series. Well, I don't know if you could really call this a series when it only had one game released in it prior to this. So, yeah. And of course, you have to keep in mind that with the GameCube NS app being added to Nintendo Switch Online on launch day as well, there is a chance that the original Kirby Air Ride game could possibly be added to NSO down the line, but we'll have to see what happens there. Now, if you enjoyed the original Kirby Air Ride, then obviously that's great. And from what I understand, like, the original Kirby Air Ride game had a City Trials mode, which I don't think I checked out because I don't recall ever playing that. But I definitely want to give this new one a shot whenever it comes out. Again, no date for it, but it is scheduled to come later this year. So, yeah. And then of course, another one I'm looking forward to that's supposed to come out this year, but doesn't have a specific date yet, is Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, technically, we're kind of cheating on this one because it's not just releasing on Switch 2. It is also releasing simultaneously on Switch 1. However, because the Switch hardware is so old at this point, the game is probably not going to run that well on Switch 1. On Switch 2, on the other hand, things are going to look a lot better. But the game will definitely run better. Graphic-wise, it'll look a lot better, and it'll just be a better overall experience. Now, granted, the Switch 1 version of the game will probably be cheaper, but the Switch 2 version is going to look loads better, even though it's likely going to be the more expensive version. But that is the version that I'm planning to get whenever that game does come out. And plus, I did enjoy Pokemon Legends Arceus a lot when that game released in early 2022. So, yeah, so Pokemon Legends CA, that's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And, yeah, so that's definitely one to look forward to on the channel here once that game inevitably comes out. And like I said, no specific release date for it yet. Well, actually, we sort of do have a release timing for it. Not an exact date, but a release window. Because, if you remember, in the presents they had in February, as well as the most recent trailer that they had for it in the Switch 2 Direct, they said fall 2025. So, that could be either September, October, or November. My guess, personally, would be November because, well, that's when Pokemon tends to release a lot of their major games. But if it releases a little bit earlier than that, then whatever, it is what it is. But personally, though, I'm banking on a November, or predicting a November release for that game. Pardon me. So that's definitely another excellent one to look forward to. And then, what else am I looking forward to on the Switch 2? Oh yeah, whatever the next 3D Mario ends up being. Now, that game, as of right now, has not been announced as of yet, but it has most certainly been worked on over the last few years. And it wouldn't surprise me if they likely haven't finished at this point, but Nintendo's just sitting on it and waiting for the right time because, well, that's what Nintendo generally likes to do, as they like to sit on games for a while until they decide on when they feel the right time to release it is. Now, so, uh, so, yeah, not only has it not been announced yet, and since it hasn't been announced yet, that obviously means it doesn't have a date. But I still think that it could probably come out as the big holiday game this year. And I'm saying this because when Mario Odyssey came out on Switch 1 in 2017, that was the big holiday game for that system's first year. Although, then again, that came out at the end of October, but that still counts of that year. But that still counts. So, I would say maybe a similar strategy for this, but there is one other caveat that also falls into play here, which is the fact that it's also possible that Nintendo might want to sit on this until maybe early 2026. Now, that possibility is mainly because in the spring of 2026 is when the Mario movie sequel is supposed to release. So there is a chance Nintendo may be waiting for that specific moment to release it, whenever it ends up being titled, to align with the Mario movie. And that would honestly make sense, because then you would likely have levels based on the movie itself, and they would be able to take a lot of inspiration from events that happen in that film. So yeah. So my release prediction for that, like I said, holiday 2025, but more likely it's probably going to be early 2026. Alright. And there is one other one that is announced. Well, it's technically Koei Tecmo that's developing it, but it's being published by Nintendo on the Switch 2. I did not go over this one, and that's because I'm still kind of on the fence about it, and that's the new Hyrule Warriors game, Age of Imprisonment. And the reason I say this is because, well, I'm not really much of a Zelda person, but who knows? I mean, it might be worth checking out, maybe. I mean, we'll just see what happens. But although there is a strong likelihood that I probably may not get it, but again, we'll just see what happens there. Alright, so anyway, those are the Switch 2 games that I am most excited for at this point. Obviously, there's going to be at least in terms of what's been announced. Now, obviously, there's going to be other games that will be coming out over the next several months, and as well as over the next year. And those that I'm sure will also be worth looking forward to. So, yeah, there we go. So, that is it. That is all. And I will see you all next time.